Hello to our viewers. Welcome back to our channel Key to Band 8 IELTS. It's been a while that we haven't posted any video. Were you guys missing us? Here we are with another video about writing test. This video is basically how the examiner gives you band, how you are judged on what is the criteria that you need to fulfill and score 8 or 9 bands in writing test. This video will tell you that on what basis they are giving you the bands. Now, usually what happens in the academies, they just tell you that there's kind of information given in the question itself. For if we say in writing, for academic people there will be pie chart for task 1, and for task 2 there will be a agree or disagree, advantages or disadvantages, what are your opinion, these kind of questions comes. So what in the academies they are taught, like there's a question, 70% of the knowledge is given in the question itself. You need to tell whatever the things that comes in your mind, you just need to pen it down, fulfill the word limit criteria, and there you go, you will be ranked on the basis that whatever you are writing. But no, if you opt for a strategical way of writing for task 1 and task 2, you are definitely gonna score 7 bands. And you won't believe, we have made this channel Key to Band 8 for this thing only. Like personally, I really wanted to help those students who always get stuck for 6.5 or 7 and they need to score 8 bands in their writing module. This video and this channel is for you guys. So do subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, share it with your friends. So let's get started. You will be given 20 minutes for task 1, both for academic and general people, and 40 minutes for task 2. You do not need to worry if you take extra 1 or 2 minutes for task 1, because nobody will come to you or will stop you or will ask you to directly shift to task 2. Because if your task 1 is taking long, nobody will stop you. So you do not need to panic, right? But I must say that you should practice the writing task 1 in such a way that you finish it in 18 minutes and you recheck it, right? You should proofread it for the last 2 minutes, because there's always be a kind of hope of improvement. Because definitely when you proofread it, you just think like an examiner or an outsider, and you check it and you definitely get some of the mistakes of your grammatical mistakes, and there may be a missing of comma or full stop, because these things really matter in writing exam. And the word limit, if we talk about the word limit to this is 150 for task 1, and for task 2 it's 250. A minimum of 150 is required, right? You need to write it at least 150, and you can exceed up till 220 or 200, right? And for task 2 similarly, a minimum of 250 is must, and you can exceed up till 300. Like this much extension of words are normal, and they do not deduct your marks for this thing, right? And now if we talk about on what basis you are being ranked or you are given bands, so let's jump to our main thing, that how you are being judged or how they give you bands for it. IELTS writing test, I have already told you that you will be judged on your productive skills, how you produce new ideas and how you present them, right? Because half of the knowledge is already given in the question, and they want you to hypothetically elaborate it, right? Either it can happen to you, either it may not, right? So this is how you need to tell them. Now on what basis they give you bands? These are the 1, 2, 3, 4 criteria on which you are being ranked. The first come your writing skills. Now you may be thinking about what we mean by writing skills. Writing skills doesn't mean that you need to write clearly. No, this is very important. Yes, you need to write clearly, because there are students who do not write properly, or their handwriting is not appropriate, and sometimes it becomes tough for the examiner to check. For them, we have a kind of idea that you need to write. Do not use big font, like don't use bigger font, but a smaller version to write your answer. For instance, if we say I, like this, am Gunveet, write it like this, because your handwriting will not look bad in this format, but it will confuse the examiner if you write in your normal routine, like usually people write in cursive writing. So you can avoid that format and you can use this format. You should practice this format before appearing in the exam, because you may need more time to write it in this way. So keep practicing if your handwriting is not good. This comes the first point, writing skills. Second comes skillfully if the student skillfully manages paragraphing. Now what do we mean by paragraphing? Paragraphing is like, if for instance, take task 2. They are talking about the advantages and disadvantages, and they mainly want you to focus about on advantages. So what you need to do is, you need to paraphrase the question itself in the first paragraph, and it needs to be in 4 to 5 lines only. And this is how, if you paraphrase it more than 5 to 6 lines, and the introduction becomes like for 10 lines, and then the BP one, like body paragraph 1, goes for only 4 lines, and then the BP2, like the disadvantages if we talk, or you are just writing down the advantages again, and it again comes with 10 lines, this criteria will be marked no. It may makes you to lose your bands, because the examiner will see the question and he or she will feel that this child doesn't know how to paragraph it, how to manage your ideas and present it in an appropriate way. Like if the first is for 5 to 6 lines or 4 to 5 lines, BP1 should it will benefit you only if you use like 6 lines for BP1 and 7 lines for BP2, and for conclusion, for conclusion you just again need to paraphrase your question only. Do not add extra information in the conclusion. This is a proper format you need to imbibe with, because if you will write anything that is coming in your mind in any of the paragraphs, this will definitely shows that you are not skillfully managing the paragraphing, right? You need to be very appropriate that what to add where. This is where we tell our students to plan their task, right? Plan your task, right? What you will be writing in your task, like introduction, and then what points you will add in your BP1 and what points will be there in BP2. You need to balance it. If there are 3 ideas in BP1, there can be 2 or 3 in BP2 as well. If there are 3 ideas in BP1, there can be 2 or 3 again in BP2. If no, it can be 2 also. You can like 3, 2, and then a smaller, right? A smaller paragraph of conclusion. This looks symmetrical rather than writing down bigger paragraph and then smaller and then again a bigger paragraph. This will make a bad impression of yours on the examiner. Second comes sequences information. Like obviously you know how to sequence your information, your points, that where to fix what, right? It's not that something is coming out of the box and you are adjusting it in that paragraph of advantages. It is not actually an advantage, but you know that thing and you are just fixing it in the question. right? Do not do it. And your ideas are placed logically. Obviously, if your ideas are not appropriate and they are not relevant enough to make the examiner feel that yes, because I've already told you the examiner knows nothing, you are telling him that this is my viewpoint and that these are the reason behind it, that is why I am saying that the advantages, I go with this norm, right? You need to tell him, you need to convince that person who is reading your task 2 or task 1 that this is why I go with this thing, right? You need to convince your examiner. Do not think that the examiner must have been knowing about this thing, so I just need to just give a little point that yes, I have this knowledge in me. No, do not do it. If you are picking one idea, tell about that idea, give reasons for it, and then place an example. If in the question it is given, that give relevant examples on your opinion or with your experiences, right? This is the first criteria, and this is the idea which they tell. This whole thing is known as coherence and cohesion. They term, if they see coherence and cohesion in your task, they will give you a direct 9 bands on your task achievement, right? So this is if you have skillfully, it becomes a habit for you to just place your ideas in a proper way, then it's so easy to score 9 bands for this criteria, for this particular section of coherence and cohesion. And it is, mind my words, it's not at all tough. It is not at all tough, right? So next comes appropriate response. Now what do we mean by appropriate response? Appropriate response means you're just telling the examiner whatever is being asked. You are not just telling anything and everything that comes up into your mind, right? You are giving a proper response for the question that has been asked to you. For instance, we give an example about, in these days, in this era, we see computers in every house. We see computers, and what advantages and disadvantages minors have of internet. Like minors, what are the advantages of computers with internet access at your homes on the minors, and disadvantages of internet access on the internet access that computer has in your home on minors, the disadvantages. Give your relevant ideas with place an example for it, right? They are just telling you, tell us the advantages and disadvantages and conclusion. They are not asking you give your opinion or what do you feel, advantages are more or advantages are less. They are not telling, just they are telling that we see computers everywhere and what effect minors have of internet access, right? So what students do, they completely shift the task to computers, right? Rather they start telling in the introduction, they do not mention computers at all. They just jump into telling we have internet access, we can see internet access or Wi-Fi's in our home, and they forget to tell about computers, right? So, or they just start telling everything about internet. Like one of the section they miss. Either they forget about telling about the computers, either they start telling positives and negatives about internet only, but they forget to mention minors, like we are talking about because the question itself has minors in it. So you need to take 3 things into consideration. You need to, in the introduction, you need to paraphrase the first line of the question, that is about that we see computers everywhere. You need to mention that thing in the question. And in BP1, BP2, you need to tell advantages of internet on minors, right? And disadvantages, in the section of disadvantages, again you need to tell the disadvantages of internet access on minors, right? This is how you will give an appropriate response to the task, and this thing is called task achievement, right? And if by reading your answers, the examiner will say he has fulfilled this criteria, he has told me about everything, right? So you are again given 9 bands on this section. So it's again not tough. Mind my words, it's again not tough. You have got 9 and 9 on this. To score a total of 8 is not tough. Let's move to the other section. This is where people stuck. This is wide range of vocabulary. The third section is wide range of vocabulary. It is also called as lexical resources. This is where people usually lack marks, and this is very normal. There can be a topic, you can come across a topic in the exam for which you have no knowledge, rather you don't have words, like the synonyms, you don't have words, but still you can score good if you fulfill these 2 criteria. And for instance, we say you score 7 by not using more of the vocabulary words. But vocabulary word doesn't mean you need to have an Oxford dictionary words with you or in your mind. No, it's nothing like that. All you need to do is, if in the exam, for instance, we say we are talking about the humans, right? I would love to give you an example about it. It was the first time when I appeared in my exam, and the question was about some people keep on saving money throughout their life, right? And the second part was some people, other section of the society earns and they spend it the coming weekend. Like they spend their money, whatever they have earned, they do not save, they just keep on spending. What is your opinion about it? Just what is your opinion? They have not told me that what to write or what not, but no advantages, no disadvantages, whether you agree, whether you disagree, nothing was given like that. Just 2 lines about right. So what my duty was, first line told me write down about the people who keep on saving money for their future, right? So for this I opted for a tagline that stated, just like the keys of the piano that looks like they are of 2 colors, white and black, but each key produces a different sound. Similarly, we Homo sapiens, like in the introduction, I do not use the word people that was already given in the question. I use the word Homo sapiens. That gives the examiner a view that I have a good vocabulary, a good hold on a vocabulary, and I am not repeating the similar word that was already given in the question. I am paraphrasing it in a better way. Similarly, when I came down, I give my opinion that I believe that either way, both of the people, both of the sections of the society. Now again, I do not use the people, but I wrote the 2 of the sections of the society are having their own viewpoints, and I believe they are right on their own in their respective positions. I've given my opinion, right? When I was talking about the people who just keep on spending money, I told them to cite an example. I again used a tagline like, life is just like a burning candle in a windy day. Again, I've shown them that yes, I hold a certain vocabulary in me, I hold a certain ideas, like my ideas are refreshing, I give logical responses to my viewpoints, because I'm talking about the people who save money. So for save money, I'm telling that they feel that they are just like a burning candle in a windy day. So they think that they are scared of what future is holding for them. So this is why they are saving money. It gives an impression that I know how to link my ideas. Again, I've told you about how I use the word people, Homo sapien, these two sections of the society, such mammals. Use such word, use such vocabulary. The task was very simple, right? I had very less things to write down. Still I scored 7 in that writing exam. So this is why generate ideas, present it in a way that the examiner gets to know that you have a good hold on your vocabulary and ideas, and you are skillfully showing it in your tasks, right? So again, if you are not able to acquire a band of 9 because you are using same words, you are not using the synonyms, you don't have the taglines, it's okay. You can still score 6 on them if you work on this section, right? But if you know about these two sections, you can score 9 and a little less on this. But we promise, like Key to Band 8 promises you to help you score 9 in this section. So do follow us and subscribe to our channels and keep watching our videos. So let's move forward. The last comes grammatical range and accuracy. Again, when you do not use your grammar, there are some grammar mistakes. You tend to lose bands on it. For this, you need to practice where to use full stop, where to use where to use the adjectives and verbs. These grammar doesn't comes on learning. It comes when you keep on doing your task and you proofread it. You tend to feel that this line is not appropriate. I need to fix something, or you need to write it down again in a proper way, right? And for this, on what basis, like in this section, in this grammatical range, they judge you on the variety of sentences that you add in your exam. Now, what are the variety of sentences that we need to add in our exam or in our task to achieve a band 9, right? Now, let me tell you that you need to, the 5 kind of sentences that I have added in September 2020. I gave my exam and I added 4 to 5 kind of sentence forms in my writing, and I scored a band of 8. Yes, in writing I have scored a band of 8, and I'll just I'll show you guys my TRF, and a picture will display, I think, in this video. So what kind of sentences you need to add? Like compound sentence, complex sentence. Don't write down like a simple format in a simple form. Like, do not, this happened dot, so this is gonna so this will be happening, or this is because this happened. And no, do not do it. Use 2 ideas and join it with a because, although, and, thus, th, us. Add such kind of complex sentences in your task 1 and task 2, and you will be definitely scoring more bands. Second comes conditional sentences, question sentences, passive sentences, like any kind of like question sentences. Such as sentences, when you will add in your task, then definitely you will score a band of 9 on your grammatical section, and then nobody can stop you to score 8 bands on a whole in your writing task. So we believe, as a student, I believe that if you work on these 4 sections, it is not at all tough for you to score 8 on your writing. If you have like proper strategies are being told to you about these 4 sections, it is not at all tough. All you need to know is have a general, like basic knowledge you need to have about what is happening around the globe, because that is where you will generate ideas. So that is where we will be helping you. In the coming videos, we will be picking one such letters, or for task 1 for your academic, we will be taking questions and we will be telling you how to write down those tasks. So do keep watching to our channel, hit the subscribe button, and this is me Gunveet signing off. Bye bye.